Obusia ni komo awo channel so how say AGH Politics Avenue. Podcast sorsa a training make question make headlines. And Ďǎnđěr na EDB exomo. Yanko ay amanyu semuno onia na yeko ay RTI Commission asweye. Na kitasehye bi akoso mu akopi mu ewo ay Public Accounts Committee. Na ni nyina ne se omu submit ay omu claims bi for payment. Na Auditor General ehu se omu ede sikani bi akekeka ho a 1 million Ghana cedi plus a unia enya asem koto akra na omo ekopie mu no unia former member of parliament Kwamla Woyomi Kwabena mention Woyomi enso ekopie mu ho ebia ya omo etutu omo ano ewo ho a ehun ebehia se yehun nsema hodo a omo etimi ede egu edwa ewo committee no ase efasa nsemu ya mekan yo yemonwran simini.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. My name is James Asante. I'm a Commissioner and Chairman of the RTI Commission.
My name is Genevieve Shirley Latte, Executive Secretary of the Commission.
My name is Kofi Amoasapong, Head of PPBME of the Commission.
My name is Vincent Opoku, Head of Finance.
My name is David Osu. I'm Head of Legal at the Commission.
My name is Chris Blavidugan. I'm a Commissioner and Chairman of Publicity and Strategy for the Commission.
My name is Kobi Oyomi. I'm a Commissioner.
Good morning. My name is
and a former Member of Parliament.
Good morning. My name is Angela Mefakbegan. I'm a Commissioner at the RTI Commission.
Good morning, Honorable Chairman. I'm Kweku Sessa Johnson, Technical Advisor at RTRC.
All right. We have just one question for you, and Honorable Enim. Yeah, Enim will handle that.
Thank you, Chair. RTI, the auditors are saying that you had included an arrears of 1,366,053 Ghana cedis into your claims. Can you explain why such an amount that had already been paid was still included in your claims submitted to Ministry of Finance?
We are grateful for the question, Honorable Chair. Respectfully, I'll refer the question to my Head of Finance to handle. Thank you.
Good morning, Honorable Chair. The payment relates to 3 items. That's payment for international travel, payment for annual report printing, and a payment for 3-month emolument of the then Board of Commissioners. And these 3 items, when you look at that of the annual report printing, during that time, we didn't have budgetary allocation, and there's a deadline of 30th June to submit the report. So we engaged the supplier, and we needed to finance the printing of the annual report so that we could submit to meet the deadline. And the one relating to the foreign travels, there was an ICIC, that's the International Conference of Information Commissioners, that needed to be attended by the then commissioners.
Sir, before you continue, can you tell us, was this paid before submitting your claims?
Yes, indeed.
Why was it submitted then?
Okay, the payments were financed from the residual balances of projects the Commission has undertaken. So we had money in the account. So we pre-financed this project due to the urgency of it. So when the budgets were released, we had to book to get the money paid back to the Commission for us to use for intended purpose.
Did you provide this evidence to the auditors when they came on site?
Yes, we did, and they verified all the payment with the third parties.
Auditors, can you confirm this claim?
Honorable Chair, we can confirm that the payments were done, and then the third parties did confirm they had been paid.
So you submitted this in lieu of reimbursement. Is that what you intended to do?
That is so, Mr. Chairman.
So you paid from a different source, right?
So, Mr. Chairman, we paid from monies that were already under our control for activities we were undertaking but were incomplete. So, due to the exigencies of our of the payment, the urgency of it, we decided to pre-finance using those amounts under our control, so that when we are reimbursed, we just move to the original.
All right. So based on your explanation here, can you confirm which budget lines these three items were under?
They were under goods and services.
Then that's fine, yeah.
All right, RTI, you are discharged. Minister of Health, please.
Thank you very much.
Tune of 774 Ghana cedis. Is there a reason why you would prepare PTAs for products that are yet to be supplied?
Please, the financial controller will.
Honorable Chair, these are in respect of two suppliers. And it's true we've raised all the documents, signed the contract, and prepared all the documents, which are still today on GIFMIS. But we asked the suppliers to supply, but they were quite apprehensive whether the payment would come on time. So my former director of procurement here, they have gone to even look at the items. But the suppliers were saying that they are waiting. If controller transferred the money into our sub-consolidated fund account, then they can bring the item. Then they are sure that when they bring in, then we can then pay for them. So because of that, they have not delivered the goods. And as it stands now, we don't owe them, and this is no more a liability for government because the funds were not moved onto our sub-CF to enable them, inform them to deliver the goods. So they have not delivered the goods. So this is not a liability as we speak today.
But it was part of the liabilities you sent to the auditors for confirmation.
Yes, Honorable Chair, they were in the part of the liabilities. So the auditors called them to confirm if indeed the goods were supplied. And they confirmed to the auditors that they did not supply the goods because they were not sure of whether payment would be made early. And so with that one, the auditors rejected it, not as.
Can you take us through the procurement of goods?
Yeah.
At your ministry?
The former procurement director.
The procurement officer.
Okay. For procurement to commence, the first thing is to receive an approval from the chief director. So it's based on that we commence the process. So it depends on the...
No, that's not the first thing. It should be in your procurement plan for the year.
Yes, so the first thing is supposed to be in the procurement plan. Then after, the directorate or the user department to request for it on an approval from the chief director. So when it gets to procurement, then procurement will look at whether the threshold, we'll be looking at the threshold, whether it is something that is RFQ based or national competitive tender, that's for advert. So if it is an RFQ based, we request 3 quotations from supplier from a shortlisted database. So based on that, we invite them officially, then we give them we go through evaluation, then contract is awarded. So this is the process.
The contract is awarded. The contract is awarded because you know they can deliver. Is that not the case?
Yes, we know they can deliver. At the time that we selected them, we know that they can deliver. But it was
Aren't they supposed to deliver before they get payment is done?
Honorable.
Aren't they supposed to deliver before payment is done?
They are supposed to
deliver and then payment follows through. So the explanation we are being given is not...
Yes, for this particular instance, this has never happened before. For this particular instance, it was around December.
That is what all of you keep saying. It was around December, it wasn't an election year. You always try to take advantage of the system. The MDAs are always taking advantage of the system. It was an election year. You went through procurement process. You had 3 people. You selected one, knowing very well that the person, that company or entity can't supply the things to you. You go ahead and give the contract to the person, and then you come and sit here and tell us that it was an election year. You are not the first, you are not the second, you are not the third. But is that how we should go about things? And then when the auditors cite you because you have it as your stock of payables, and yet delivery hasn't been done, and you are asking for us to confirm payments and pay into your sub-CF. Where is this done? We all know the procurement process in per the PPA Act and the practice, the correct practice at the ministry. And that is why the auditors cited you for it. You come here, you explain it away as if the auditors cited you for it because they did not have any other thing to do at your end. Respectfully, let us do the right thing. Let's not take advantage of the system. Let's not take advantage of situations. Oh, it was an election year. So all those suppliers that people are complaining of that they didn't supply because it was an election year, we do not want to see them in your books as suppliers again. Yes. You are not the first, you are not the second, you are not the third. The auditors pick it up and then you just come and sit here and explain it away with this. It was an election year, so they said, but what did the contract say? Supply and we will pay.
Like Honorable Chair said, what are you doing to avert a similar situation next time? Because we don't want to see this again. And we won't be taking excuses of election year or any other excuse. Because there was a recommendation. We don't even know how you bypass the system. Because at no point should PTAs be raised before goods are delivered. So how were you able to bypass that? How did you do it? Educate us.
Honorable, it's because this came as a result of the election year. I don't want to repeat myself again. It is the first time that we have experienced something like that. It had never happened before. So this is the first time.
So you promising it's going to be the last? Were you there when this happened?
Yes, I was there.
And you are still there?
No, I'm not there.
You are no longer there?
Sure. So we'll make sure that...
We hope whoever took over from you was listening and learning, so we don't find ourselves in a similar situation.
Sure.
Madam, did you want to come in? Yes, please.
Insurance. Yes, respectfully, I also came and inherited this as part of the assets and liabilities. But I want to assure this honorable House that, August House, that we will not repeat this. We will ensure that going forward we perform better than this. and ensure that we comply with the PFM Act and the Procurement Act. Thank you very much.
So you are promising that this will not happen again. What measures do you put in place to avoid this?
Chair, my financial controller is here. In fact, if you do a sample survey of the ministry staff, they will tell you how hard I have been on matters like this going forward, because it's one too many. I'll soon be coming back to you on my former ministry. So it's something that I really have taken it upon myself that I have to ensure that being in the lead, we abide by the procurement law and the PFM Act.
Procurement guy, you picked that supplier because you believed that he could deliver. Isn't that so?
Yes, sir.
And when you procure something, do we pay for it before we get the product?
We receive the product before we pay for it.
We receive the product,
Sure.
we inspect it to see if it meets the specifications before we pay. And then this supplier, did he even order the laptops?
Yes, so as Director of Finance said, before we decided not, before we decided that we will not be, before we decided we'll be doing the BTA, we inspected, we went to his place of, where his shop is, we inspected the items, and we came back and informed management that, yes, we have seen the items. So as he says that he will not be able to supply because he's not too sure that we'll pay. We'll pay for the items because it was getting closer to elections. So even it's the same explanation that was given to the auditors when they visited when they called the supplier.
I'm not worried about what they told the auditors. I'm worried about you and your ministry. So what month did the computers come in?
The same was around December.
Around December?
December.
That was when you inspected the computers, right?
Yes, we inspected it.
Around December. Then he said, nah, I won't bring it. So have you now gotten the computers?
No, please.
No. Is this supplier still on your list of suppliers to use?
No.
Chair, I will follow up question, and then you are aware that the supplier is aware that it's getting closer to election, but he accepted to supply. Is that so?
Yes.
So you went and inspect that the goods are there, and then you bypass the system to raise the BTs. And at the end of the day, today, as we speak to you, the computer is not there, the laptop is not in. But yes, you added it to your list of things for government to pay.
Not for government to pay. So at the time that the auditors came, they saw it in our books. So it was based on that they recorded it as.
It was on your books. The evidence is the name of the game. You put it there. It's the auditors who put the evidence there.
So as Director of Finance says, we were hopeful, and we know that he will supply because we inspected the laptops and the desktop.
When it comes to election year, everybody comes here. All the ministries come here. Suppliers say it's an election year. They don't want to supply unless they pay. Then what is the procurement process for? Because if you are ordering goods, the goods must arrive, you verify it, it's in good condition, you certify with necessary documentation before, money is released for payment. That's the normal practice in terms of procurement. So why? Do you know the supplier?
No, I don't know the supplier.
How long, is it a Ghanaian?
He's a Ghanaian.
How long have you been supplying to the ministry?
I think we select them from our supplier database.
If he doesn't know the supplier, where did he go to inspect the goods?
So if you don't know the supplier, where did you go to inspect the goods?
Honorable, the moment you engage...
We ain't some more to Mukoso channel, so I'm not so Jimre. The Senator body in the Dumbi Edumania. Onya, you were saying Asia.